VW. And if I were a YouTuber, I'd have a really cool intro right now, but I am not that. And so I do not have an intro. If you're into some VW content, I have most of my stuff on Instagram at Annies_VW. It's just chronicling sort of my quest in restoring a 1969 Volkswagen Beetle. And so I'm doing this video because I can't do videos that are probably be this long on Instagram. And it's just an overview for now on the engine. It's a 1600. It should be dual port, but we'll get into that. But before we get that far, just a little bit about me. I am not a professional. So if you're here to see things to do and what not to do, I'll probably show you a few of those. This is just me kind of discovering as I go. Hopefully, if you're a professional or you have some good advice, you can drop it in the comments. I always appreciate that. Crowdsourcing is a great way to solve problems or learn something new. Anyways, as I said, I'm not a professional, but I am someone who wants to learn. 25 years ago as a teenager, I really wanted to be a mechanic. But for a lot of reasons, that just didn't really ever happen. My first car was a 1971 Super Beetle, super loved it. So this is kind of a project that's been maybe about 20 years in the making. My husband, Rob, has known that I've wanted to have this sort of project. It's been on my mind since I was in my early 20s to fix up an old Volkswagen, and I figured that maybe that the time had just passed and that I would maybe not be able to do it. But he came home one day and he said, "I think I found the one," meaning the car. And so he went out and looked at it. He talked to the guy. He was the one that kind of pursued it for me, because even at that point I wasn't really sure if I wanted to open up this can of worms. But I'm really glad I did, and so here we are. I've already done the chassis. If you followed me on Instagram, you know that I've already redone the chassis, floor pans, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just getting into the engine. History on the engine is, well, I don't really have very much history other than the previous owner who got it from another guy and never got it going again. The guy he got it from before he had it basically said, well, it overheated and it seized. So that's kind of where we're at. I have a motor that is basically a hunk of junk until I take it apart and fix it, I guess. But that's part of the draw of the project. I really wanted something that would require more than just, a new coat of paint. I wanted to really dive in. So this video is just going to be an overview of this engine, show you some things on it, some things that are not supposed to be there maybe, as I've done my research. So we'll just dive in and we'll start looking at some things and we'll have an overview, and I'll have some questions as well. And so if you've got answers to those questions, leave them in the comments. Again, crowdsourcing is a great way to learn, and so I'm kind of looking forward to this. So we'll just dive right in. So first things first, the engine stamp on here is AE, so we know that that's actually a 71. The body and chassis are 69, but I don't think that's very uncommon for a vehicle of this age to have had a motor swapped out once or twice, and to have a motor probably that's been rebuilt once or twice. I suspect, or at least I'm very confident, that this engine has been rebuilt probably at least once, and I'll tell you why as we go through. So anyways, AE is the engine stamp, so that tells me 71. The 71s were dual port, 1600, and they are a dual relief case, and so that's the case number. But there are some kind of weird things that that are kind of out of place for this, that were kind of a head scratcher. So there we've got our case stamp. But you'll notice if we go over to the side here where the heads, I've just got a single port. And so that tells me that more than likely what has happened over the years on a rebuild is probably what's happened is that the heads have been replaced and they've gone from dual port just to a single port. Now from the reading that I've been doing, that's not such a big deal. They're totally sort of an interchangeable part. As soon as I won't do it in this video, but as soon as I open up, you know, get these off and I can take a look inside the heads, there's a number there that will maybe tell me more specifically what, when the heads were manufactured and what year they came from. So I'll be interested to know that. So that's the first kind of weird thing. Since we're going on weird things, I'll go on another one. We've got the, I'll put you down right here. So going off of more just things that seem a little bit out of place, here's a question. From what I've read, the 71 engines, this is not the fan shroud or fan system or oil cooling system that is common to the 71s. I believe that they have a different fan shroud and a doghouse cooler. And so I'm thinking that that is maybe a little bit out of place as well, that this has been scabbed on for whatever reason. So tell me if I'm wrong there. I feel like I'm on the right track with that. I don't know how important that will be to go back. Again, with the dual head sort of dual head ports there, I'm not really sure if that's important to go back to that original. I haven't really been able to read whether or not. Again, the guy who had this before me and the previous owner, he said it overheated. I don't suspect that that is because it's not a dual port, and I don't suspect that it's because of the fan oil cooling system. What I did find was underneath here, I'm missing some cooling tin. Let me move you again. So tell me if I'm wrong here too. I feel like there's some cooling tin or some tin that's supposed to go back around here. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I've seen that somewhere. One thing where I know for sure that I'm missing cooling tin is right down here is that little deflector plate on both sides. And I'm missing some other cooling tin that I'm pretty sure comes around and back through here. So if you're looking for something that has maybe overheated the engine, that's my first guess, is that that's what happened. Is they don't have that deflector plate down there and it wasn't cooling properly. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing some other cooling tin pieces and stuff like that. When I first took this off, this flywheel back here seemed to have a lot of end play, but it's not moving at all now, so I don't really know what the deal is there. Not gonna matter, I'm gonna take it off anyways. Can't remember what this is. I think it opens the heating vents with the thermostat, which I think is down there. I think that's there. So yeah, so those are two or three of kind of the weird things. So we've got a 71 case, but not dual port on the heads. I think that's wrong, but I don't know if it's urgent to switch those back or not. If you have an opinion on that, please let me know. Let's move around to the front again. So we've got our distributor here, opened it up. It's got all the pieces I think it's supposed to be in there. I'll have to clean that up, clean everything up, clean the points. Maybe get new cables. I don't know what the coil is. I haven't taken that off yet. I don't know. I don't even know how to test if these things are good or not, which is kind of ridiculous. Like I'm not an engine person, but I have taken on a lot of fairly ambitious projects in the past, and they've all turned out really, really well. So Call it hubris or maybe false confidence or borrowed confidence. I feel like I'll be able to figure it out. But I have no idea if the coil even works. This generator or alternator, I have no idea. Is this a generator or an alternator? It's pretty gungeed up in there, but I think I can clean that up and all that. Let's get a little bit of a closer look on some of these things. Okay, I got you in my hand now so that I can get a little bit closer. So again, like this, it's just totally seized. And what I did when I first got it was I pulled out the spark plugs on all of them, and I just filled the pistons full of some Marvel Mystery Oil. And so they've been sitting like that since, I want to say April. And I haven't been able to get any movement out of them. And that's okay. I gotta take the whole thing apart anyway, so I think that's fine. Okay, again, coil, no idea how to test it. I think there's a place in town I can take it, they can test it. This carburetor is a, let me see if I can read that, a Solex 30 Pict 2 made in West Germany. So that looks like original. I have no idea. My research hasn't taken me far enough to know whether or not that is good or bad. No little air cleaner there on top, or whatever that thing is on top. I don't know if this works, but I think there's a place in town that will test it for me. Again, same with the distributor. But I mean, it looks like, get you a close up down in there. It looks like, I don't know, does that look like it's in pretty good shape if I were to just clean the points up a little bit? I have no idea. Are you enjoying how ignorant, how ignorant I am with this sort of thing? I hope you're enjoying this. Fuel pump, no fuel pump. That is because this one came with an electric fuel pump. It was converted, but I'm going to go back to the original as it was in 71 fuel pump. So I'm gonna go back to that. Let's see what else I can find here. Cooling tin looks pretty good. Not majorly rusted anywhere. So I know that this hole is for, so you've got your duct that goes down there and into your heater boxes. I don't know what this one is. So question number 2, I can't remember how many questions. Is that supposed to be there, this hole? If it is, what's it for? There's a hole there I'll have to weld up. I don't know what that hole's for, but we'll learn as we go, I guess. Coming around this side, heater boxes. I was maybe, so that's this under here. I was maybe going to think about doing just J-tubes, but I live in Canada, and I think removing the heating option might not be the best idea. But I don't know, like I don't know how to inspect a heater box to see if it's okay. This one over here, right down at this spot, is really rusted, so there's a lot of sort of movement there. Everything you can see is just disgusting and dirty, so that'll be really fun taking it apart. Let's see what else. I think that's mostly just about it. I will get a new muffler. This one's rusted in a lot of spots. That makes it, so I'll probably want a new one. Trying to think if there's anything else. That's the basic overview. So there are some kind of funny things. Yeah, so I guess that's the basic overview of this engine that I've got here. Again, I'm not, like, I've never taken apart an engine. I've never done it, but I'm jumping in because I think it's going to be loads of fun. I think it'll be a learning curve. Like, who knows? Like, here's a question. once I get it back together, how do I know if it even starts? Like, I know I've seen these guys that they've got these things that they put on with their starter on the back and they can do like a bench start. I don't have those things, so I don't really, there's some things that I'll have to figure out as I get there. But fingers crossed that when I open this up, I'll have to crack the case. I'm certain of that things are looking good. Another question, how do I know, like, if my case has been line bored and now I need a different size bearing? See, these are questions that I'm gonna have to try and maybe crowdsource a little bit because I don't really have the answers. So, as we go, I'll have questions. Hopefully you good people out there who are watching this will be able to help me out a little bit. But I'm really looking forward to it. I am fairly confident. I think I've logged enough YouTube and I've done enough reading that I feel fairly confident that this will work out okay. I'm gonna repaint some things. I don't love this blue. I know they did it probably to match the body, but I don't love that. So it's gonna be a lot of work. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's the initial overview. If you have any comments or anything, let me know. But yeah, that's it. Oh, I do have another thing. So before I pulled the motor, what I did was I got rid of all the old oil, and I let it drain, and then I filled it with kerosene. My thinking there was this had been sitting for so long that maybe if I filled the whole case with kerosene, it might break up some sludgy junk. So I filled it with kerosene, and so I sealed it up, filled it with kerosene, and the case didn't leak anywhere, and kerosene is a pretty, it'll get through cracks and bolt holes and things like that. It didn't come out anywhere, so that gives me some confidence that hopefully the case isn't cracked anywhere. But again, I mean, that's just sitting in a case, no moving parts or anything like that. But I did that, and then I just filled it with some oil just as it sits here. So yeah. Everything's so dirty. There is a little bit of oil that has dripped out the bottom, but it's dripped out of the drain plug. I figure maybe I need a little crush washer or something down there. But it's so minimal that I'm not super worried about it. I don't know. Who knows? I could be in a lot of trouble here. Let's be honest. I could very well be in way over my head. But I don't feel like I am. Hubris. Alright, well that's it. Thanks for watching. Disassembly video will come as soon as I get my engine stand and the engine mount. Engine mount is going to be a little while, but disassembly video will come. It will just be basically raw video of the disassembly. Please come back and watch that and comment and tell me all the good things and bad things that maybe you notice. Hopefully more good than bad, but we'll see. Anyways, that's it from me. If you want more content like this, I'm not really on YouTube, but I am on Instagram.